Hey YouTube, just got out of jail a few hours ago. Got pulled over, got arrested for a dog license, $15 dog license. They've already spent well over $400 to try to collect $15 from me for my dogs. Well, they locked me up yesterday, 6 hours, till I got bailed out. My wife came and bailed me out. Cops were here terrorizing my kids. There was eight police officers at my house to take care of this heinous crime that I committed, not paying for my dogs. But here's a twist. Service dogs are exempt from licensing fees. Both my dogs are registered as service dogs. I didn't know that at the time. I probably could have saved myself a little time in jail, but I can't see $15 being an arrestable offense. I can't see a dog license being legal. You have to pay $15 if your dog is spayed or neutered, and double that if you choose to not mutilate your animals. $30 if you decide that you want your animal whole and pure. You gotta pay double. I think I woke up at least 3 cops, some of the people down at the jail. It was like I was given a class. I kept talking and talking and talking about how wrong, how evil they were for taking me away from my family in this time of need, 2 days after Christmas, for not paying usury on a dog. And I don't see paying usury. I mean, it's like renting your dog from the federal government or the state, local government, whoever the money goes to, somebody's pockets, but not mine. What you have is you pay usury on your animals so they can set up the animal shelters. That's what they tell you. And then your animal gets taken by animal control. If it gets off its leash, you have to go down there and pay $100, $200, depending on how long they have it, and blah blah blah. Size of the dog even matters. You have to pay more for bigger dogs. So if the money that comes from my licensing goes to the animal control, where does that $100 or $200 I have to pay to bail my dog out come from? Where does it go to, I should say? Well, it lines people's pockets, bureaucrats who have no life, they have no production value on this earth. They talk about useless eaters. This is useless eaters. Bankers are useless eaters. They have no true value. They have no value. A banker has no value. A police officer has damn little value other than collecting revenue and enforcing revenue collection, which was what happened to me yesterday. I refused to pay between the two of my dogs, $45 revenue, because one's neutered and one's not. Or, yeah, neutered. For both males. I refused to pay usury on my animals, and so they came and got me. They enforced that $15 ticket by spending at least $10 in gas just to bring me to the jail. The cop that arrested me was on overtime, 2 hours of overtime. They well spent that $15 that I'm not going to give them, because my dogs are service animals and I'm going to win. So I'm not going to have to end up paying anything. I'll get all my fees back. So they made no money. That's waste. It's waste. So I plan to call a waste fraud and abuse hotline. I don't know if I'll be able to go after them for wrongful arrest, because they didn't really know the dogs were service animals. However, I believe that ignorance of the law does not mean that you can go ahead and break it. I have asthma. I had no access to an inhaler while I was in there. Here's another thing. I couldn't breathe in there. And I'm not afraid. I've been in a prison cell before. Just temporarily, short times always. No more than 6 hours. But there was something coming through the vents. Everybody was coughing, choking. They obviously feed something through those vents to make you very, very uncomfortable. And they blow outside cold air in. Now it's the middle of winter, as you know, and it's been very cold. So I feel really bad for those people. I hope nobody got hypothermia last night. I hope all the righteous people got out. I hope nobody had to stay in jail because they had a plant, or stay in jail because they didn't have the ability to get bailed out. But more and more righteous people are going to jail for things like dog licenses, things like breaking little tiny ordinances that are petty and ridiculous. But this is how you know the New World Order is scrambling, because they're trying to get their $15 any way they can. But here's the thing, if you make them ridiculous, you can just go register your dog as a service dog online. It's not a big deal. Everybody should just register their dog as a service dog. Then no one has to pay the fee, and the government can go bang their ass, you see. If you take little pieces of that away from the government, those little pieces, this is what's holding the government up. If you kick those little pieces out from under them, they'll crumble. And this is exactly what we need in America. We need to kick those pieces out. Kick the corruption out from under the government and watch the rest of it come tumbling down. We hit them hard in one area and win. Whether it be police brutality, whether it be you hit big oil, whether you hit big money, whether you hit big pharma. If you knock one of the legs out from under these people, they have nothing to stand on. Free energy. Hit them in the energy pocket. That's one of their biggest pockets. The fact that they control all the energy and they sell it to us in increments for exacerbated fees. Okay? There's free energy. You can build a $200 machine that will power your home. $200 to power your home forever. The government knows about these machines, and they try to keep the information quiet, suppress it as much as they can. The website goes up and down and up and down, and you know, it's the government trying to toy with them, and then they fix it, and the government tries to mess with them, and they fix it, and you know, it's hacker versus hacker, geek versus geek. Basically, non-productive person versus non-productive person. So, if all you non-productive people out there do just a little tiny bit of production trying to kick away this cancer, we won't have any cancer, and we won't have a new world order, and we can go back to being Americans. Not American citizens. Americans. Sovereign American people. As an American citizen, you're not a sovereign American. You are a piece of chattel. You belong to them, and every time you check that box, it proves that you're their slave, because you are an American citizen. American citizen is defined as basically a piece of chattel. You are human goods. You have more bank stamps on the back of your birth certificate than you can even think of. A damn sight more than you have stamps on your passport, I'll wager. Well, this is one way to win the battle. To plan on getting hold of ACLU and the news because of all this wrongfulness. Not so much that they were in the wrong because I shouldn't have been arrested in the first place, but because of the money that would be spent for this $15. That's where the news story is. The realization that they're going to spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to try to collect $15. Well, 45 But it's not the point. If I didn't have my $30 dog, they would still give me a ticket for my $15 dog, and I would still go to jail for it. So I have $45 in dog licensing fees that I'm in arrearages, according to them. But there's my service dog numbers right here. And that's the U.S. Service Dog Registry. So, you know, I kicked the legs out from under them on that instance. I will get my whole bond back. I'll get all my processing fees back, and they will be left in a bankruptcy situation as far as my case is concerned. And I swear to God, I am going to find everybody who doesn't want to license their dogs and show them the way that they don't have to license their dogs. At least they don't have to pay the fees. They get the license. It's just free. So, there you have it, YouTube. If you live in Colorado, especially Jefferson County, register your dog as a service dog. Register it to one of your kids. You know, everybody's got some kind of problem you can register a dog for. Oh, I'm depressed, and the dog makes me feel better. That's a service animal. My kid's got autism, and she has a sensory disorder. And the dogs are really, really good for her sensory disorder. And she calms down markedly when there's animals in the house, as to opposed when there's no animals. And so it's a necessity that we have dogs. It's not a whim. These dogs are not our whim. They're here by necessity. But there's your loophole. Find a necessity. You know? Tell them you have sensory deprivation disorder or whatever. But use all the loopholes you can. Anything to kick the bureaucracies down the street. They don't belong here. They don't deserve my money. I worked for my money. What little money I have. There's the 2 days after Christmas, my kids get to see me get arrested for the most ridiculous thing. And now I have my kids screaming at police. They hate the cops. They hate the government. And, well, I'm proud of that. But you don't want to see people hate. You know, even when it's a justifiable dislike, you don't want to see people hate. Especially your children. It's not a pretty picture. But this is where the government and the police put my kids. This is the position they put them into. So they're going to fight. They're not going to sit still for government bullshit. They're going to be just like their father. And I have 4 of them. So get ready. If there's still a government, get ready for my daughters. Because they're all pissed. And they hate you. And I woke up at least 2 cops. And the good news, I heard that the Jeffco cops, well, the cop I talked to, said that he could pretty much speak on behalf of his whole department when he said that he would not take guns through confiscation. He won't. He will not go house to house. He will not confiscate guns. He's not as naive as that. That's his words. He was somewhat naive, but it didn't take much. All you got to do is start talking. And start telling them about the wrongs in the world, and start telling them about the wrongs in the government. Really tell them about the possession laws, the fact that you're a possession, and you can possess nothing. Cops really, he didn't like that at all. So what do you mean? Well, your Social Security number directly correlates to a Federal Reserve note. And he's like, whoa, what? Yeah, it's true. Your Social Security number, on the back, there's a number stamped. That number directly correlates to a Federal Reserve note. Yeah. You're a slave. And I told the cop, he's a slave. You're a slave, you're a slave, you're a slave. And I asked him if there's anything too menial for him to do. You know, I mean, he was arresting me for a $15 ticket. So, does he pick up his boss's dry cleaning? Does he clean his boss's boots? You know, I won't lick my boss's boots. I don't even have a boss. I can't. Because I'm a free man. I can't be lorded over in any shape, way, or form. This is why I got arrested yesterday. But it's funny because I ended up the winner. The 6 hours I spent there, I didn't spend not 1 minute of fear. I wasn't in with murderers, or they were just regular people committing crimes that didn't deserve to be punished, you know. There was no other dog licenses in there but me. And the cop did tell me he had a stack of dog license warrants this thick. Mine was a statewide extraditable warrant, which he said was very odd for a dog license warrant. And he asked me who I pissed off. Well, you've seen my videos. You know who I pissed off. Everybody. If you're a government organization, I've been on you. So I guess that's it, YouTube. I just want to let you know I'm a free man again. I'm gonna win the case, but this could be a great way to open up some people's eyes and to really let them know that government tyranny is right here at home. They will come and arrest you for a dog license violation. Craziness. They didn't really say, oh, dog license violation. They said you failed to appear on the ticket we gave you for not licensing your dog. Which is true, because I believe in non-participation. I don't believe in going to court because it doesn't really suit people. Court isn't made for the people. Court is made for the corporations. Court is made for the government. It's made for the aggressors. It's not made for people who supposedly transgressed on some little bullshit statute, $15 dog license. That's how they make it more important than it is they put out a warrant for your arrest because you didn't appear in court for your big-time dog ticket. And, you know, by the time I was out of there, everybody was joking, oh, here comes the big-time criminal. Look out. Yeah, big-time criminal. Smoke pot. I have dogs. Look out. Look out, America. Here's your terrorist right here. Call Homeland. I don't like to pay for my dogs. I gotta pay for them to eat. I had to buy them in the first place. Why do I have to pay the government? What does the government do for my dogs? They don't do anything for my dogs. Never. Not one time has a government official stopped by my house and petted my dog or played fetch or took him for a walk or I want something. If I give you money, I want something. I want some return on it. I don't want to blindly give money to people and for them to take it and spend it, and then when it comes to the services that were supposed to be paid for by that money, they're like, oh, no, you have to pay us. What? I paid you the dog license fee, remember, to fund the shelter, and here I am at the shelter and you're trying to charge me for your services. Well, make up your mind. Do you want the money on the front end or the back end? You can't have both. Not from me. I'm not built in my head to be able to handle that. I don't handle idiocy very well. I'm a very big fan of thought. I give a lot of thought into the things that I do. And yeah, I gave a lot of thought into the whole dog license deal. But I couldn't make myself go and pay usury. That's what it equates to. You're paying to use your dog. The government didn't make my dog. I know the parents of my dogs. They live in my neighborhood. What did the government have to do with that? And why do they want money? Well, because they're idiots. And the money that they get from taxes, they squander so fast that they have to invent new ways to get money from you. So like, how can we'll make people pay to have a dog. Property tax on cars and houses. Property tax on pretty much everything. Then now they're gonna value add tax. Now they're gonna carbon tax. Now they're gonna, you see where I'm going? I'm not paying 98% tax. I'm not gonna pay 50% tax. You guys at the government need to wake up, hear that audible pop, and get to work. You don't do anything, you don't produce anything, you don't build anything, and you've ruined our entire country. So it's time to pull your heads out of your asses, hence the audible pop, and get back to work, working for the citizens, the people. I am not your slave. I don't care what you think I signed. You cannot ever make me enter a contract by default. Okay? And if I unknowingly entered a contract, then the contract is null and void. Period. That's common law. That's human law. Okay? Those are part of the inalienable rights given to us by our Creator. And they can't be taken away by some geeks in the government. These are the people we gave wedgies to. Okay? And now they're bent on revenge. I mean, I hammered on that cop so hard yesterday, he said, well, I did take this job because of low self-esteem. Isn't that great? The cop that arrested me took his job because he had low self-esteem. He became a cop. Now, I can see some good reasons for that. I can see some things that cops do that could raise your self-esteem in honorable ways. Cops do get the occasion to help people. They're not all these jackbooted thugs who go around kicking protesters and spraying them in the face. Some of them are really nice people, and they took the job maybe because they had low self-esteem, and they thought that helping people and protecting their environment would boost their esteem. And then there's the other side that crave the power trip for the esteem boost. And these are the dangerous cops. These are the ones that don't need to be cops. They should hang their badge up. The guy I talked to yesterday wasn't like that. I truly believe that he wanted to help people. I told him about free energy, the Searle effect generator. He had never heard of it, of course. No one has ever heard of it, except those people who have searched for free energy and free sources of power, knowing that it has to be out there. I've had designs in my head since I was a little kid for hydrogen engines that run off of water. It only takes electrodes to put in the water, and it separates the oxygen and the hydrogen. You then take those gases and send them into an engine. The only engine powerful enough to handle that is the rotary engine by Mazda. And lo and behold, 4 or 5 years ago, Mazda comes out with a rotary engine powered by hydrogen. But they don't make their hydrogen on site, which makes it differ from mine significantly. But here's the thing. I put that out. Who's going to come murder me? You know? Here's the thing. Anybody who's got a good idea, you all need to get them out there and put them out there now. Now. Everybody. If you have a great idea, put it on YouTube, put it on the internet, put it on Facebook, put it on Twitter. Let everybody you can know about it. Spread it like a wildfire. And when there's too many good ideas for the government to suppress, then they fold. There's another leg you can kick out from under the New World Order. There's many, many ways to fight these people. Reclaim your sovereignty. Make sure your state is going to reclaim the state sovereignty. There's a lot of states that have already sued the government for that exact reason. I'm not sure if Colorado did yet. I know that they were supposed to, but if they did, it doesn't look like it did much good. Although the feds really don't, I don't know, they don't really bust marijuana dispensaries like they do in California, and that's what led most of these states to have to sue for their own rights, because the federal government was busting in medical marijuana businesses' doors for no reason. I mean, these people were operating legally under state law, and the feds were like, oh no, it's federally illegal, we're going to bust you. They don't have the jurisdiction. The federal government doesn't have the jurisdiction to bust somebody in California or Colorado for pot. They don't have the jurisdiction over you. You live in a sovereign state. The states are the sovereigns, not the country. The country has no sovereignty. The individual states are the sovereign countries inside the United States. And the United States is just a coalition of these sovereigns. The government turned it all around backwards and put themselves in ultimate charge, because power always seeks power. And power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And they seek this power because it's like a drug to them. This power trip. Ooh, I'm powerful. Ooh, look at that. Look what I did to that other person. Look at the power I took over that other person. There's a greater power over people than destroying their lives. It's called helping. This is what you don't understand as the New World Order. I have more power than 500 New World Order people. Why? Because I'm helpful. People love me because I'm actually helpful. I'm honorable and I'm sincere and I never lie. And when you base your government and your life on a lie, well, you don't have a foundation. So the very littlest leg that gets kicked out from under your foundation, your whole building comes toppling down. And I think free energy is the leg we really need to kick the hardest. The fact that they can lord over you and charge you just exorbitant amounts of money for basic necessity, heat, electricity, they've made us rely on it. Technology's made us rely on it as well. So it's not like a commodity. They charge you like it's a commodity, but it's not a commodity. Especially if you live in a northern area, it gets below freezing. Heat's not a commodity. It's a necessity. And hypothermia is a real issue in the northern part of the climate. People die of it all the time. England's probably one of the worst countries because they have horrible, horrible government that charges them probably double what we pay for heat and electricity and things of that nature. Excuse me. And they have the audacity to tell you, well, you should take less hot baths, turn your heat down. It's global warming, you know, which doesn't exist. Well, global warming does exist, but so does global cooling. It's called the sun cycle. Look it up. It's natural. We have nothing to do with it. We have very, very little impact on this earth. Besides the digging and the polluting, we have very, very little impact on what can happen on this earth. And when you get into the HARP weapons, that's when you can have huge impact on the earth. When you start spraying chemicals in the air, you can have huge impact on the earth. But that's both evil bullshit and shouldn't be done. It's done by dishonorable, disrespectful people. who can't stand themselves when they look in the mirror. Because anybody who has any self-worth would never harm anybody, because they understand what self-worth is. See, and I like myself most of the time. There's times where I'm like, oh, Matt, you douche, but everybody should have moments like that. Checks and balances, you know? You can't just love yourself. But you have to love yourself. And you don't have to worry about them. They don't have the kind of power that this world seeks. You see. They're selling you unclean energy. They're selling you unclean economics. They're selling you unclean politics. They've corrupted and destroyed everything that was good in humanity. And they've made it an absolute abortion. And it's time to yank that abortion out and discard it, so we can get that wound freshened and get America pumping out good babies again. Once we take down the energy, that's going to hurt a lot of huge corporations, which is good, because they need it. They need the kick in the ass. The rampant consumerism, you guys need to stop. Stop watching TV, stop watching commercials, stop dealing with this stuff, stop buying junk. Buy what you need. If you spend one more penny than what you need, you're a fool. Pass by Starbucks. I'm not saying don't get a coffee, but there's a lot of local coffee shops you can get coffee from. Starbucks is not local, nor are they a good company. They're not responsible in what anyway. So pass by them and use your little small coffee house. We found a great little coffee house up here that's been there. I mean, I've driven past it, I don't know, dozens of times, and you never think of it. And then, you know, you get sick of feeding these huge corporations who don't feed you back, and they don't care whether you're even fed. All they care about is, let me get $2 more so I can have more power from you. Let me sell you a $4 coffee that's worth $2.50. So this little coffee place, great coffee, way better than Starbucks. The guy has conscience. He doesn't have any RGBH milk or any of that. No GMO BS. No clear-cut rainforest for his coffee beans. And the prices are comparable. I mean, I think he's actually a little cheaper than Starbucks. He doesn't have to have this huge logo. He's got a little tiny kiosk of a building. Really low overhead, so keeps his prices competitive with Starbucks and has a better product and a better quality product with none of the hormones and all the crap that they put in all the globalist products. And Starbucks contributes to Fiji Water. They're part of Conservation International, just the biggest globalist organization on earth if you look it up. I don't know what they're trying to conserve. It ain't humanity or life of any sort, except maybe their own lives. But here's the thing. When a person becomes self-concerned to the point where no one else is a concern, well, I don't know, I wish there was identifiers, because then we could weed those people out of society and send them to the moon. Oh, I know there's no buildings on the moon, and I know they couldn't be able to breathe or anything like that, but I'm willing to make that trade-off. You know? I really am. Take the people who are totally self-obsessed and get rid of them. Most of the elites are this way. They could literally kick a puppy to death and not care, and probably enjoy it, because it's the power they have over that puppy. That's their drug. Look at all the orphans disappearing all over the world. They're killing them. You know it. They're killing them. They're probably doing ritualistic things with them. It makes me sick to my stomach to even think about this subject. But DynCorp, Halliburton, they've been caught stealing children. Where they at? Where they at? Did they ever ask for the children back? No. They knew better. Donald Rumsfeld said, oh, that's the way it is. It's just the way it is. So, they either took these people, and I'm talking lots of people, I'm talking 250,000 kids from Haiti, kids from all over Africa, kids from Somalia, kids from the Middle East, everywhere the UN is, kids come up missing. Lots and lots of kids. What are they doing with them? Where are they? I mean, if you kidnap 250,000 people, that's a lot of people to hide. So they're underground, right? That's where they're at. They're underground. Yeah, most likely. That's it for now. I'll be back soon. I'm going to make some phone